Hello Manchester United fans. Man United boss Ruben Amorim could break 69-match streak with Andre Onana decision. Andre Onana is under pressure for his place in Manchester United's starting 11 for the first time since he joined the club in the summer of 2023, with Ruben Amorim pondering a change. Ruben Amorim is weighing up whether to drop Andre Onana from his Manchester United side to play Newcastle on Sunday. Onana had a nightmare in United's 2-2 draw with Lyon in the Europa League on Thursday and has found himself in the firing line for the trip to St. James Park this weekend. The Cameroon international has been relatively unchallenged as United's #1 goalkeeper ever since signing from Inter Milan for £43.8 million plus £3.4 million in add-ons in July 2023. He has made 94 appearances for the club, with Altay Baynder and Tom Heaton the other options at Amorim's disposal. Onana has, in fact, started 69 successive Premier League matches, yet his place is reportedly now under threat, with Amorim giving serious thought to starting Baynder instead. The Turkish goalkeeper has only made 7 appearances for United since his £4.3 million move from Fenerbahce in September 2023, and none of those have been in the league. Speaking after the Lyon draw, Amorim was steadfast in his backing of Onana. He said, "When one player makes a mistake, all the team makes a mistake, so we continue like this." And asked whether he would take Onana out of the firing line, Amorim added, "No, we continue to do the same thing. We train, watch the games, and we choose the best 11 for each match." The build-up to the Lyon game saw Nemanja Matic claim that Onana was one of the worst goalkeepers in United's history. Since Onana joined United, he has made more errors leading to goals in the Premier League than any other goalkeeper. And it seems it could finally lead to action after he allowed Thiago Almada's in-swinging free kick into his net and split George Mikotad's shot to allow Ryan Cherki to score the rebound for Lyon. "We have to face Newcastle with a team that can be competitive to win the game," Amorim said. "Sometimes winning games is the best way of preparing for the next one. Of course, I am going to be careful with some players, but again we need to be competitive." Former United assistant manager Mike Phelan has sympathy for Amorim, who has a big call to make either way. "That's the biggest decision as a manager you have to make," Phelan told Sky Sports. "I know one great manager who made a huge decision in a cup final one year for Manchester United. It's a decision you have to look at. Is there a #2 goalkeeper at United capable of taking the role for the rest of the season? You can't keep covering up those mistakes." United head into the Newcastle game sitting 13th in the Premier League with 7 games remaining. Amorim has won just 12 of his 31 games in all competitions as United boss and needs a strong finish, especially in the Europa League, where Romano announces €60 million agreement as Antony transfer very close. Real Betis are set to announce a major deal that will signal their ambitious plans as they continue their attempts to keep Manchester United winger Antony beyond this season. The La Liga side have been flying high since a successful January transfer window, which saw them splash the cash on Cucho Hernandez and loan Antony from Man United. Both have been a resounding success so far, with Antony's resurgence in particular raising eyebrows given how poor he was during his time at Old Trafford. Real Betis are one of Europe's informed teams at present, beating Real Madrid last month, holding Barcelona to a draw at the weekend and comfortably winning their Europa League quarter-final first leg against Jagiellona on Thursday. Antony's productivity has tailed off since his red-hot start, but he remains an eminently important player for the Seville-based side, and they are determined to try and keep him around. Real Betis seal deal as Antony agreement close. Real Betis look a good bet to finish the season in a European spot in La Liga, while they could even qualify for the Champions League should they win the Europa League. This would massively boost their revenues and increase their chances of keeping Antony. However, even if they fail to achieve this, Betis will make sure that the summer window is a big one to show their ambition and ensure that this successful season isn't a one-off. With this in mind, they have moved swiftly to tie one of their best prospects down to a new long-term deal, with Fabrizio Romano announcing that Man City target Sergi Altamira has committed to fresh terms until 2029 with a €60 million release clause. What's more, the signs of Antony remaining look promising, if local outlet Estadio Deportivo is to be believed. In fact, the Spanish publication goes so far as to suggest that a deal to keep the Brazilian, likely on loan for another season, is already very close. It's crystal clear. The outlet quotes Vice President José Miguel López Catalán as saying, Relations are very good with all three parties, and we're doing everything in our power. Now, we're going to complete the season, see how we finish and whether we're in the Champions League or not. Then we'll sit down and negotiate. It was much more difficult to bring him in January than for him to stay for another year now. It will depend on many things, but we have options and we're very clear about that, of course. Man United transfers. Marcus Rashford makes huge decision on his future. Manchester United attacker Marcus Rashford has been active in the news over the uncertainty surrounding his future. The English attacker has expressed his desire of a new challenge away from Old Trafford after being dropped by manager Ruben Amorim. The 27-year-old was dropped from the squad for 4 matches in a row, which made the player decide to look for a career away from Old Trafford. His form has once again struggled this season, with the boyhood Man United fan only scoring 4 Premier League goals. He has been linked with a move to La Liga giants Barcelona as well as Saudi Pro League clubs. Transfer news expert Fabrizio Romano has now provided the latest update on the future of the Man United attacker, claiming that Rashford has no intention to join the Saudi Pro League. Romano wrote on his X account, "Marcus Rashford has no interest in Saudi Pro League move for the January transfer window. That's the idea so far. Saudi's not seen as option under consideration by Rashford now. Police Garlight Marcus Rashford has no interest in Saudi Pro League move for the January transfer window. That's the idea so far. The 27-year-old should look for a move to a European club rather than a move to the Saudi Pro League or the Major League Soccer. He still has a lot of football left at the top level, and leaving Europe at this stage of his career would be a disastrous move. All he needs is a manager who can support him and get the best out of him. There is no doubt about the talent of the Man United star. He just needs consistency, and he should make sure that issues off the pitch do not affect his form on the pitch." Man United news. Andre Onana replacement options emerge amid hands-off message over £40 million star. Manchester United goalkeeper Andre Onana has come in for criticism, but there are other positions where Ruben Amorim's side are looking at strengthening in the summer. Manchester United are back in Premier League action on Sunday, but much of the conversation in the lead-up to their trip to Newcastle has surrounded Andre Onana. Goalkeeper Onana had a night to forget against Lyon on Thursday, and there has been talk about Ruben Amorim dropping him to the bench. In the longer term, Amorim and United's transfer chiefs may decide a new starting keeper is needed. Altay Bayındır has already been linked with a summer departure, and the Red Devils may have some money to spend come the summer. How much money exactly may depend on United's progress in Europe. Their only realistic hope of European qualification would require them to win the Europa League this term, and their match against Lyon is finally balanced at 2-2 after the first leg in France. A number of other senior stars have been sent out on loan this season and could find themselves leaving permanently in the summer. Marcus Rashford and Antony are both likely to be the subject of interest after impressing for Aston Villa and Real Betis respectively, but it remains to be seen whether any bids match United's valuation. Transfer talk is the main area of discussion as United prepare to take on a Newcastle side who beat them at Old Trafford in December. Here are Mirror Football's latest lines from around Old Trafford. United's Onana alternatives. With Altay Bayındır available again after injury, the Turkish international could get some game time ahead of Andre Onana between now and May. Beyond then, though, United may decide to dip into the transfer market for a new keeper. Onana has been a near ever-present since joining from Inter Milan in the summer of 2023. However, he is some way off the years of consistency delivered by predecessor David De Gea. A number of opportunities have presented themselves, some from within English football and some plying their trade elsewhere. We've looked at some of the options if United do decide to look for someone new. Fabregas gives United hands-off warning. Como manager Cesc Fabregas has warned Manchester United off moving for Assane Diao. The Senegalese winger, 19, has been flying for the Italian club since joining from Real Betis in January. Diao has scored 6 Serie A goals in just 13 appearances, including a winner against high-flying Napoli. He also made his senior Senegal debut in March, having previously played youth football for Spain. "We are trying to go for young, talented players who are not playing. They do well here and obviously their value increases," Fabregas said. "There is no mentality of speculating and selling. They come here to grow and improve the team. Then obviously Manchester can come and ask for Diao by offering €40 million, but it is not a